Sorry. I'm getting distracted by E3. We'll get to that. So, time to wrap up everything so far. So this is the EA, Microsoft, Bethesda, and Devolver Digital stuff. Tiny Build I don't really want to acknowledge, because whatever the Hello Neighbour's now spinning off to, in terms of whatever that is, looks stupid in the way that they were trying to introduce it. They were trying to be Devolver, except you can't try to be Devolver. Just a recommendation, guys. So, EA on Saturday started off with Battlefield 5, which looked alright, but no gameplay really properly shown. Keep stressing that there are no loot boxes, no premium passes. It's getting a Battle Royale mode, which they're calling Royale. But that looks like, you know, it looks alright, but it's, I don't know. FIFA has the Champions League. And they've got the World Cup add-on and whatever. Then Andrew Wilson comes out in a sort of... And I will say Andrea Renee, as the main host, did a very good job. The problem is you still had Andrew Wilson there. And he is the face of EA, as in the dick. The monetization and God knows what. So they announced Origin Access Premium. So instead of $5 a month for the standard Origin Access thing, the premium one means you get access as soon as they're available and early to like Anthem and Battlefield and all the other games that are coming out. All that sort of stuff. The other thing they talked about in that little bit, weirdly, was like streaming. Basically, they bought Gamefly, the game streaming service. So they're going to be providing that, which seems to be a trend so far, but we'll get to that. Streaming capabilities to any device. So people will actually be able to play Madden on PC, which is a nice little touch, but who knows. So then Andrea's with Vince Zampella and the crowd, who's announcing a title, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and they're talking about, dark times, and that it involves Jedis, and it's set between episode 3 and 4, and it's going to come out at the end of next year. Didn't have anything to show, so it was sort of like, so why bother talking about it? Because now it's just like, that's the way you announce a Star Wars product? By having some developer in the crowd go, oh yeah, this is the title, it's coming out next year, so you're not going to see it until next year's E3, so bye. Weird way to do it. Then we had the bloody Battlefront 2 guy basically admitting that the game was crap. Or the game was crap at start, and they didn't take into account the players. Solo related content is coming later this week, along with an extraction mode. Also apparently some sort of conquest mode as well. And Clone Wars is officially coming to Battlefront 2, with a focus at first on Geonosis, featuring Dooku and Obi-Wan and Grievous and Anakin Skywalker apparently. So then we have Unravel 2, which looked very nice. And then, of course, they stealth dropped it. Unravel 2 is available to get now. And it's co-op as well and everything. It looks very good. And then Soderlund came back to introduce a new EA original, Yomei from Germany, a small Berlin studio. introduced the Sea of Solitude with the female dev and head writer really doing a passionate sort of like description of why it was made, which is always the best bit about this. It's why Unravel was great 2 years ago. It's why A Way Out was good last year. So the big tagline from it was, if you become lonely long enough, you turn into a monster. Just that premise alone, is really good. Coming out early next year. Then they had some NBA Live stuff and some Madden stuff with the guy that won the Madden esports tournament saying, yeah, I got my diploma, but I didn't go to my graduation ceremony because I wanted to win money. And it's like, great advice in life. This esports thing's really going to last your whole life, isn't it? You're going to put that on your bloody CV. Oh yeah, I'm an esports champion. Denied. Then, of course, RTS mobile game, which looked utter terrible from the way they presented it. Because it's like, half the time they were just like, let's look at this person's phone that we can't properly see because we haven't got the right camera angle. And then it turned out to be Command & Conquer Rivals. Command & Conquer is officially dead. Oh, dear God. The pre-alpha supposedly available now. I haven't been able to get to it, but I sort of don't want to. I sort of want to burn every copy, even though you can't because it's digital. And Andrew Wilson, in some shape or form, was apologising for basically his company being a dick with the whole loot boxes and microtransactions. Not entirely. So then we got into Anthem. It looked good. Looks very RPG-esque. It certainly feels like something that isn't a BioWare game. It feels like a EA game, but not anything else. But it looked good. I will say that. And it's coming out February 22nd. The same day as Days Gone. We'll get to that. Because next up, chronologically, we have Microsoft, which was a pretty big stacked one for a change. We started off with a teaser for Halo Infinite, with the Slipspace engine debuting. The way it looked very much in the vein as the original trailer for Halo 1 back like 20 years ago. So whether we're sort of hitting the reset button to some extent, we'll have to see. I love the fact as well, he was saying, Phil, when he did come out, thanks to everybody watching us on TV and on Mixer. And it's like, really? No YouTube or Twitch? Right. So the big thing was 50 games, 18 exclusive and 15 premieres. The first one, Xbox exclusive. I mean, it's PC as well, because nearly all these ones are. Ori 2, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. That looked very good. Then From Software's new game, that Shadows Die Twice. That's the subtitle for Sekiro. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. But the big thing is, not only is it From Software that's publishing, From Software developing, they've decided to partner with Activision in terms of publishing. So I guess that means technically you'd be able to buy it through the Blizzard store? Maybe? But sort of, it's Dark Souls Bloodborne meets Tenchu, I would say. That's the best way to describe it. Looked very nice, coming at some point in 2019. Todd Howard came out to announce that Xbox Game Pass now features Fallout 4 as part of the subscription stuff. And then the Fallout 76 trailer with a map 4 times bigger than Fallout 4's. They didn't really announce anything. Nothing entirely full, but, you know, Country Road Take Me Home is a great song to have, and a very good cover as well. Then we had The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. It's a free to download and buy prequel to Life is Strange 2. Coming out on June 26th to all platforms, or at least PS4, PC, and Xbox One. That looked nice. Supposedly it does link with, if you put the right things together, it does sort of give you a tease as to what's to come with Life is Strange 2, so we'll see. Crackdown 3, which is coming in 2019, which looked nice and fun. Nier Automata, coming to Xbox One this month. Then Metro Exodus, which looked very, very nice, with some massive attack music on it as well. February 22nd release date for that as well, though. So that means Days Gone, Anthem, and Metro Exodus, as it stands, are all coming out the bloody same day. Well, it's not November anymore when it's like every single game's coming out. It's February. Kingdom Hearts 3. They showcased off Frozen stuff and Wreck-It Ralph related stuff. And apparently Aqua. I thought that was the act that did Barbie Girl, and I'm not fully into my Kingdom Hearts lore. But that's coming in the end of January. Sea of Thieves DLC, Forsaken Shores, and out in September. And I think there's some other DLC as well coming later on in the... I think there's one in July as well. Hopefully it adds more content to the game, because from what I have heard, that's just lacking in that. So then, Battlefield 5 Story Mode. Barely showed anything. Great idea, EA. You hype everybody saying, look, we got a single player. Don't show anything. We've got multiplayer. Don't show anything. We've got Battle Royale. Don't show anything. Jeez. Then we had the UK set Forza Horizon 4, which looked very nice with some dynamic weather and whatever. 60 frames per second for people on Xbox One X. So that's the first time ever that 60 frames has actually been given as an option for consoles at least. It's coming out October 2nd. Then Phil came out to talk about studios. So the Initiative, led by Daryl Gallagher, who's worked on like Tomb Raider and whatever, has been formed by Microsoft. Microsoft's also bought Undead Labs, the guys behind State of Decay and State of Decay 2. Playground Games has been acquired, the guys behind the Forza Horizon series, and they've also bought Ninja Theory, the guys behind Hellblade and all that. And then also Compulsion Games, who did We Happy Few, which is coming out on August 10th, which they showed a little bit of, have also been acquired. So a lot of investment by Microsoft to get, I guess, games for their platform, by the looks of it. PUBG, which looked PUBG. Tales of Vesperia Remastered Edition or whatever coming. Then we had the Division 2 reveal, which looked okay, but it looked gameplay a little too similar to the first one for it to sort of be a sort of true sequel. It does feel like an expansion, just in a different place. It's coming out March 15th, so they're sticking with that March date. They're pretty confident with that. Then they talked about the tech stuff. Apparently, they're doing fast start using AI in terms of how people play their games. So games will start up to 2 times quicker than they currently are. Which, considering the loading times, which I've heard is a big issue for Xbox One people, it's coming as part of the June update this month. Also on Games Pass today, along with Fallout 4. Elder Scrolls Online, and Tom Clancy's The Division, which, you know, Fallout 4, people were like, that was alright, but they already announced it earlier, and then Division and Elder Scrolls, it was just like, Then Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is coming September 14th, which looked alright, and then Creatures Studio, and everyone was like, oh my god, this is Skate 4, isn't it? But no, it's Session. It's one of the... It was an actual Kickstarter that started up a year or so ago. That was like, we love all these skateboarding games. We want to do our own, and I think they got like somewhere in the region of $200,000. I think less than that, like 170, to be able to make it. And by the looks of it, it's going to be an Xbox. I think it's an Xbox exclusive. From what the trailer said, I'm not sure. It looked nice. Black Desert Online, which is already out. They did another trailer for. I don't know why, because nobody's playing it. Then, of course, Devil May Cry 5 showed up. Because they literally were just like, boom, boom. But, I mean, it was 50, so it does make sense. Devil May Cry 5 looked very good. With the lead character, which is probably Virgil, looking a lot like the DMC Devil May Cry Dante, and then Dante himself does show up sort of the end of the trailer. Oh, Nero, apparently. My bad. Itsuno's working on it as well, so that's good. New Cuphead coming in 2019. Also, they showed Tunic, which was a nice sort of very beautiful looking puzzle sort of platform thing by the looks of it. I've heard it's some sort of homage and sort of love letter to sort of Zelda as well, so there seems to be a lot in there. There was also the indies and stuff, which looked alright, but we saw very little of it, and it's like some of them look more interesting than some of the stuff I've seen so far on E3, because that's annoying. Now they're saying it's nothing but world premiere trailers. So Bandai Namco showed off a Naruto game. Oh wait, no, it's One Piece. Oh wait, no, it's Dragon Ball. No, it's everything. Spike Chunsoft are doing it in next year, 2019, entitled Jump Force, and then right at the end, good old Death Note making an appearance. That's an interesting. Then we had the reveal of Dying Light 2, with Chris Avalon being on in some sort of capacity now for that game, which is a pretty big, good move, I would say. Certainly it looked brighter and more colourful. They seem to have stressed as well that it seems like there's human stuff in the daytime and the zombies only come out at night, which is annoying, but there you go. They teased something to do with like an all-new Battletoads. Then Just Cause 4 with a giant bloody tornado. Apparently online, that Sekiro game that I talked about earlier is directed by Miyazaki of, you know, Dark Souls fame and all that, so man, we can get hyped for that, I guess. Then we had the Gears stuff. We had Gears of War Funko Pop thing, which seems to be a mobile game. I don't know. There's also a Gears Tactic games in development, so an RTS Gears. And then Gears 5, which looked nice. Looked to be an interesting sort of story as well, for a change. That's coming at some point in 2019. And then, right at the end, they dropped Cyberpunk 2077 from CD Projekt Red, which even had a message on it saying, look, we know it's been a long time, but we didn't want to reveal anything until we were sort of comfortable to talk about it. The trailer also had keys that could be redeemed to get Game of the Year editions, of which are free. There was also a password thing, which was very interesting from the number plate. CD Projekt Red going deep on the law. And that was a very impressive Microsoft showing. First time in years that I've been like, that was a great conference from them. And in return came Bethesda. And their stuff. The theme is create. They had Rage 2 to start off. Well, they actually had a nice sort of video package showing all the devs and whatever that work out the studios. But they started off Rage 2 by having Andrew WK perform Better Get Ready to Die, or whatever that song is, live. And the audience sort of were like, what is this shit? It's like, it's the wrong thing to do in front of that audience, because most of it's press that are just interested in the games. They're not sort of like fans. Bethesda should have just let in the right people and whatever instead, rather than the press. Because they would have rocked out way more. Then the two devs came out, and it looks as if the auto cue went, because there was sort of like an awkward silence for half an hour and whatever. But yeah, it's Avalanche. So Avalanche has worked on Just Cause 4, which is coming out in December, and this, which is coming out, I think they said like February-ish. But it certainly looked like, you know, take some Doom, take some Mad Max, take some Bulletstorm, take the first Rage, take sort of Lollipop Chainsaw. It's, you know, it's not, it's a tongue-in-cheek style thing. The special edition has even got like a thing you can mount on your wall, which is Andrew WK sort of speaking like one of the weird Ravage people or whatever. $220, so there you go. Then Elder Scrolls Legends, they've confirmed that it's coming to Switch, PS4 and Xbox One. Then they talk, and they're going to relaunch it. Do they think that means people are going to play it? I don't know. Elder Scrolls Online, they're getting some new content for that as well, apparently, but who knows? I'm not really into that game. Then the rumour that didn't leak came true. Doom. It's not Doom 2. It's called Doom Eternal. Because it is hell on earth. Because we saw like US traffic lights and whatever. So whatever happened on Mars, it somehow got to Earth. It's coming out. Well, the big full reveal is going to be at QuakeCon in August, which is a bit annoying. But I'm guessing that's implying it's probably not coming out till this time next year, maybe. Sometime around April or May. Like when the first Doom came out. But it is a proper sequel, I guess that's the important thing. Then Quake Champions. It is a thing. They said that there was a great community. I don't know that many people that are playing it. There's probably loyal, but it's like, geez. Then we got to Prey. New content stuff like New Game Plus and whatever is available now for free to people who already have the game. And then the DLC, which goes to the moon, which featured Dead or Alive's You Spin Me Right Round Like a Record Baby, Meat Spin. Officially, the meme of Meat Spin made it into the internet. That moon stuff also includes the multiplayer mode when it comes out. And I think that they said, I don't know whether the moon thing, I think the moon thing's available now, but the multiplayer mode with basically one human player and the other 5 players being mimics. So basically, Prey meets Prop Hunt to some extent. That'll be coming later on in the summer. Did look fun though. I did enjoy the Prey game, so we'll see. Then Wolfenstein. I guess we're getting a spin-off. Because it's Wolfenstein Youngblood, and it's the story of B.J. Blazkowicz's twin daughters in the 80s. It's co-op as well, so you can play it with a friend. The one thing to note as well that I noticed from some streams and whatever, the spin-off from The New Order, the first Wolfenstein game, was entitled The Old Blood. So Youngblood sort of makes sense to imply that it is a spin-off title from New Colossus. It's coming at some point. No full sort of gameplay. They also announced though that Wolfenstein will be VR-ified, and Prey will also be as well later in the year. And then Todd Howard showed up with some comedy stuff. The first thing it started off with was featuring Keegan-Michael Key, with basically implying that Skyrim is on everything. Skyrim was on Amazon Alexa, and then also on like a Samsung fridge, which was sort of actually funny, because it was sort of like they're actually fun. Then they showed the Fallout 76 trailer from Microsoft again. And then they basically say how it's online only, which is worrying. And then it's how you'll be in a world with dozens of people at a time rather than hundreds or thousands. So it's going to be shrunk down. But I don't know what that is going to be like. You can play it single player, which is good. You can build settlements and see them be destroyed by monsters. But then the other interesting bit as well is if you manage to get launch codes, you can go to various areas on the map where there's nuclear missiles and possibly nuke other players' worlds. So there could be a lot of griefing there if people manage to get it together. That's worrying. And then the beta, which is entitled the Break It Early Test application. Apparently, I just need to check this. The Fallout 76 beta, I think you have to pre-order the game. Yeah, pre-ordering Fallout 76 is the only way to get access to the beta. So they want to test it because they want people to sort of break the game so that the game is, the game can be fixed. But they're putting it behind a pre-order thing. Well done, Todd. You fucked that up. Also, they immediately go to a collector's edition. It's like, so we don't really know that much about the game, and you're already saying get a collector's edition. There's a glow-in-the-dark map and a helmet, which has like a voice changer and a functioning sort of light. I don't know. That's coming 14th of November, apparently. Fallout Shelter, available now on PS4 and Switch. And then they talked about Elder Scrolls Blades. It's a mobile game. It's free to play and is coming out in the autumn. Apparently you can pre-order it. I think he meant to say pre-register, because you can't pre-order something that's free. Oh, let's see how it goes with the money and the monetization with that, because ZeniMax and Bethesda could be bad on it. And then there was a minute-long tease for Starfield, which is their next game, which they stressed was a next-gen game, so I guess that's going to be on whatever new consoles or platforms that they are. And then, of course, they dropped a very brief Elder Scrolls 6 tease, but that was it. Nothing else. Overall, I'd say it was good, but not as good as it could have been, I would argue. And then, Devolver's stuff was as manic as it was. Even has storyline, which did also, we thought, concluded because the woman got shot to death with a minigun from the guy that lost his hand the previous year. But apparently she's been, like, Robocopified. And we'll find out what happens with that next year. The Crow Team game looked alright. Didn't seem clear. But the other two, My Friend Pedro, which is apparently was originally a Flash game, but is now getting the full-on treatment. Use Dvorak, who apparently now is my new favourite composer because of Volta's theme from the wrestling. It's being developed by Dead Toast, which apparently is one guy called Victor, who spent a few years at Media Molecule working on Little Big Planet and Tearaway, among other things, but then left. One guy did it, and if that's the case, that looked freaking ridiculous. And then, oh, that was it. Scum was the name of it. It's coming to Steam Early Access in August. It's a multiplayer prison survival game show style thing. It looked alright, but not really brilliant. But then the big one, the rumours were true. From Software's Metal Wolf Chaos, which was only on Xbox in Japan back in 2004, which gained cult following for just being crazy. We're now getting Metal Wolf Chaos XD with updated visuals, refined gameplay, 16:9 and 4K support and whatever. There's also talks of like a new save system, according to the Steam version. It's garnered a cult following for actually being a ridiculously awesome From Software game from back in the day, and I guess people are now actually going to get some proper access to it and whatever. So yes, that's all we've been shown so far. But coming up, at least on Monday, there's Square Enix, there's Ubisoft, there's the PC Gaming Show, and there's Sony, and then Tuesday we've got some Nintendo. So I'll be giving my thoughts on them in another video. I was repping the Microsoft shirt, by the way, for all the Microsoft stuff, day stuff. I need to change into my Sony Last of Us shirt, because Last of Us 2 is actually being shown, so there's an actual reason to wear it. So, check out all the other content on here. Food stuff with me or Owen. Wrestling stuff with me or Owen. AJ's movie reviews. Gaming stuff with me. All on here. Give us a subscribe. Click the bell. Give us a like. Whatever's the thing that they say. Sorry. I need to get to more important stuff.